What's going on, guys? Tyson the Trainer here, back with another video, back with another sports talk, and today we're going to be talking about mindset. Okay? Now, firstly, I'm not a mindset coach, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not anything like that, but there have been things that I've picked up in books, books about athletes, books about just little bits of psychology and stuff like that I think actually do carry over to what I'm going to be talking about today, because they've been shown to work. They're based off studies. I'm very science-based. We make sure that we've got the research, especially in the psychological realm, over into this category for myself to be able to talk to you guys about this. So basically, our mindset is such an important thing. We live with our brain, basically, or our conscious, or whatever it is, for the rest of our life. So we need to make sure we are doing the best we can up in here to take care of ourselves, because you've got to like who you are as a person. Because if you're always disliking who you are as a person, the habits you do, the person you are, the job you work, all those type of things, and you're always having this internal criticism on yourself, it's actually very defeating. It makes you feel down. It makes you actually carry out what you tell yourself in your mind in person. So, your actions dictate your thoughts and your thoughts dictate your actions. So it's kind of like a feedback loop. But, when you tell yourself you're a piece of shit, you can't stick to something, you're lazy, you do all this, guess what's going to happen? You're going to do those things in other areas of your life. You're just going to do it. You may be an athlete. I'm talking athletes here. Or you could be wanting to be an athlete or some type of athlete at all. And then in other areas of your life, you had this internal thought of, I'll never be able to work a job I love. I'll never be able to find someone I love. I'm worthless. I've got all these flaws, all these things. And the more you have that negative self-talk, the more likely you are to act on a daily basis. So, you could be going on a date with someone, but you tell yourself you're worthless and you have no value to give. And of course you're going to give them no value. You sit down, you have a coffee or whatever it's going to be, you leave, the person never calls you again. But it's because you fulfilled that, because you probably had your actions. You were sitting down, you're slumped, you look like you're fucking sad all the time, all these things. And it's like, change what's going on in here. All right? And so from the athlete's mentality, I'll tell you guys a bit of a story. So basically, I want to start training for a triathlon, right? It's something different I want to do, kind of just, change it up a little bit. So I thought I'd start training for that. While my shins are still healing because I can't run properly, I'm doing cycling and swim. And so my friend Macaulay and I went down to the pool just to do some laps, and I haven't swam since like 2014. So what's that, 7 years I haven't swam for, like actually proper laps and stuff like that. And I was 20 kilos lighter back then. So we got in the pool, 25 meters, and we were like, all right, we'll do 500 meters, and that's what we'll start off with. And so for me, I got into it, I started swimming, dying after the first 50 meters, like my heart was fucking pounding, I was out of breath, I was sloppy, I was trying to save myself from drowning. It was really tough, but the whole time I was reminding myself, I'm an athlete. Because I want to embody myself as an athlete when it comes to fitness. I want to be someone who's an all-around kind of hybrid. So I want to be able to lift some weights, I want to be able to run good, I want to be able to swim for a distance, I want to be able to cycle. Like, that's what encompasses me to an athlete. That's what, is my idea of an athlete, is someone who's a well-rounded person in different areas of fitness, not just one specific plane of fitness, So with that, reminding myself, I'm an athlete, I'm going to push through, I'm mentally tough, I'm a leader, all these things are the person I want to be. I remind myself of these things, and so I did the laps, But the funny thing is, I did 450 meters, So Mac finished before me, we both got out of the pool, we started walking back to the towels, and I looked at my watch because my Garmin tracks it, and it said 450 meters. And so I was one lap short. And I had this little fight in my head for a few seconds, with my body, my brain telling me, go back in and do it. And then the other half of me was saying, oh, don't worry about it. No one's going to know about it. Only you're going to know about it. And that's when it was kind of like a click in my brain. And I'm like, yeah, but I'll know about it. And if I cheat myself now, there's a higher chance I'll cheat myself next time, or cheat myself in other areas of life and just fucking skip out on things just because it was tough, just because it was hard. So I walked back to the pool and I did the extra 50 meters, And it's an extra 50 meters. It's not that big a deal. But for me, that also reaffirmed the person I'm trying to be, because an athlete doesn't quit when time gets hard in their training. They push through, they shut the fuck up and they do the work because they want to be the best. It's what you've got to do. You shut that mental self-talk off. And so for me, at that moment, being like, I'm going back in to do it, whether anyone knows it or not, I know it, and it's for myself, and I need to change that. So I need to embody who I want to be. And so doing that little thing, just confirmed to me that I am on the right track of being the person I want to be, and that how important my mindset is, because I've always been telling myself that, And with that thought process, your actions will start to move in that thought direction, you know? So for myself, telling myself I'm an athlete, I'm doing more athletic things. I'm doing more cycling. I'm swimming. I'm on the on the assault bike. I'm boxing. I'm weightlifting. I'm doing all these things because they are important to me overall as a healthy, as an athlete. And so they're the things I'm going to start. I've already just started embodying them. And so for yourself, when you start to change your self-talk and you start to tell yourself about the person you want to be, you will start to act in accordance with that. Okay. Now it doesn't happen overnight. You're not going to wake up tomorrow and be like, I'm an athlete, I do this, or if you're a business owner, I'm a business owner, or I'm a leader, or whatever it's going to be. You don't just all of a sudden wake up and change your mindset. But the more you start to internalize that and tell I guess they're kind of called, I'm not a big fan of affirmations, as in like, I'm rich, I'm wealthy, I have 10% body fat, all these things. It's more about reminding yourself, it's more about telling yourself the person you want to be, and you have to think about that for yourself. Who do you want to be? And what traits do they, involve? Like, what trait does that type of person have? So, when I say an athlete, for me, like I said, an athlete isn't someone who is good at one type of sport. I don't consider Olympic lifting an athlete, or I don't consider, this is kind of hard. I do consider running to be an athletic sport, or I do consider field events to be athletic, even though they're one sport, but people still do train with weights, I don't consider bodybuilding athletic. I don't consider powerlifting athletic. I don't consider lifting weights itself athletic. If you are doing those type of things, and then you're also running or swimming or doing something else, like multifaceted, is I guess what I'm trying to say here. So like, not just one main focus, but multiple things, if I want to go for a run today, I can go for a run today. If I want to go and lift weights today, I can lift weights today. And I don't have to worry about, is this going to interfere with something, or am I going to be able to do it, because I've trained myself to do that, So I wrote down the things that I want to be, have my traits of on a daily basis. I'm going to shut this door really quickly while I talk to you guys. The things I want to get on a daily basis and who I want to become. And I wrote down those traits of who that identifies with as an athlete. And I remind myself that, And then another thing I remind myself of is that I'm a leader. What does a leader do? They show by example. They lead by example, I guess you would say. You step up when times get tough. You remain level-headed and clear-headed, and don't let emotions get to you when everyone else is in a panic. You make sure that you put others before you, because a good leader, obviously leads the way, but takes the rest of the team with him and puts them in the right position. So for me, I'm a leader to my clients. What do I have to do for my clients? I have to show up with them. I tell them they got to be consistent. I should make sure I am consistent as much as I can. With everything I do, the way that I show up on these videos, I make sure I do it twice a week. The way that I make sure I post on Instagram once a day. The way that I do these things, because I want to embody that. And so for yourself, think about the person you want to be, Who do you want to be in life, in all areas of your life, in your work life, in your health life, in your relationship, all those things. And you think about who that person is, It might be someone who is you've got someone in mind who might be like that. If you're someone who loves basketball, it might be Kobe Bryant. If you're someone who loves, I'm not going to say too many sports because I can't think of the top athletes. If you love golf, I'm Tiger Woods. Obviously not the cheating side of things, but you tell yourself who you are. If you're a cyclist, I want to be like Lance Armstrong. Again, not the doping side of things, but to be performing at your best. And so you think about, what would that person do, or who would the person you want to envision, or who you want to be, what would they do? All right. And then you think about those things that they need to do. And the more you remind yourself, I am this person, and you kind of, you have these traits in your head about what they need to do, you will start to move yourself in that direction, And it doesn't happen overnight. And you're not going to wake up one day and be like, I'm a fucking athlete, or I'm whatever it is, I'm a healthy person. But the more you do it, the more likely you are to start moving your actions in alignment with your thoughts, okay? So again, for you, if you're someone, you might not be an athlete yet, you might be someone who's wanting to be an athlete. The more you start to tell yourself, I am an athlete, or you're focused on someone who's in your sport, who you want to be like, and you look at their traits and you know what they do when it comes to that sport, when it comes to their fitness level. Again, if you're someone in rugby and you look up to someone in rugby and he shows up to practice every time, and when he's not practicing, he's doing these drills by himself and he's doing this. And then so you embody that and you think, okay, these are the things I want to be doing too. So you book out your times, you start to do those type of things, and you're moving your actions in line with your thoughts. Now again, this doesn't happen overnight, but when you start to really think about this and start to change your mindset, you will notice, you will subconsciously do things that move you more towards that goal without even thinking about it. which is kind of cool because, you know, again, our thoughts dictate our actions and our actions dictate our thoughts. And again, if you're someone who's like, you know, you're trying to find a partner and you tell yourself, I am confident, I'm funny, you know, because you may actually be funny and people tell you you're funny, but you don't think you're funny. So, you know, you're like, oh, well, people tell me I'm funny, so I am funny. I'm confident, I bring value to the conversation, I do this. And the next time you may notice it's not going to be, you know, you're walking in, fucking strutting in and things like that, and it all goes great, but it's probably going to be better than it was last time because the way you're thinking, you know, and the way you're reminding yourself when you go on this date, I am funny, I am relatable, I keep the conversation going, I do this. Then you'll start to embody it more and more. And again, this isn't like some woo-woo thing. This is legit. This is actually what happens. And so we really need to start working on our mindset and taking away that negativity that always comes up. Not telling yourself you're a piece of shit, not telling yourself you're a failure, not telling yourself these things. And when these things come up, because they will, there's always going to be that talk there. And I've still got it in my head, but you shut it the fuck up, you know? Every time it comes up, you catch it. So what I like to do is when I think about it, I tell myself, stop, you know? Sometimes I say it out loud, sometimes I think it in my head, and you shut that thought up and then you change that thought process. So you've got to catch the thought when it comes and you've got to change it, okay? Because every time you shut the thought up, it gets quieter and quieter, but it doesn't disappear and it's kind of always there, you know, it's kind of always in the back of your head. And when things get tough or times get hard, this internal talk's going to get louder, but then you silence it again by reminding yourself of the person you want to be and what you need to do, you know? And eventually this good talk will get louder and it'll help build up your confidence, help you feel better, help you move in the right direction overall. And you'll start to do things, like I said, that you want to be. And it does take time, but I'm telling you guys, this is such an important thing. And mindset is, you know, just such a big crucial area that we have to work on. Okay, so start to change your talk, start to think about the person you want to be and how are you going to start to embody that. All right. And then again, reminding yourself. So like maybe write it down in the morning when you wake up, maybe write it down in the evening. All these things that can help you constantly remind yourself of the person you want to be. And again, your thoughts will start to align with that. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that gives you guys a bit of feedback to kind of go on with and start making some adjustments. And until next time, I'll speak to you then.